Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So in this recording, we are going to discuss exercises from chapter 3. Okay, so I will explain the steps, how to complete the exercises, and also with it, the explanation. Okay, so let's start with question number 4, from your textbook. Okay, Kasim Selamat, the owner of Beri Nasihat Company, provides legal advice to companies and individuals. The account balances of the business as at 30th November 2000 X1 are as follows. Okay, for this chapter, this is an accounting equation chapter. Okay, so we're going to record all these transactions into the accounting equation worksheet. Okay, so firstly, when we receive this question, okay, you have to record number one, all the headers if they are provided. If they are not provided, you have to create your own headers based on the transaction. Okay, and then record all the opening balances. Okay, so firstly, let's do that. Okay, sorry. Okay, so firstly, we have January 1st. Okay, by the way, forgot to. All right. Okay, for the balances, we always set the date and on the first date on the first day of every month. Okay, so cash is 34,000 ringgit. Next, we have trade receivables 700, furniture 2,000. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, next, vehicle 30,000. There is no computer equipment, no trade payable, and capital is 66,700. Okay. Before that, okay, it's very important before you move further. It's very important that we always have to make sure total assets equal to total equities and liabilities. Basically, total debits equal to total credits. Okay, so we're going to take the sum of the debit sides, okay, all of them, minus the sum of the credit sides. Okay, and you see, okay, so we have zero balance. Total debit minus total credit is zero, meaning to say they are both have the same amount. Okay, and we're going to paste this formula just for our rechecking purpose later. Okay, so now we can start recording the first transaction. Okay, on 2nd December, the owner brought a new vehicle worth 25,000 ringgit into business. Okay, whenever the owner of the business brought any assets into the business, those assets will be considered as capital. Okay, so in this case, okay, this new vehicle will be the capital. Okay, so let's record this. Okay, capital will be 25,000 ringgit and the assets is in the form of vehicle, 25,000 ringgit. Okay, before we move further, let me explain this. Okay, firstly, the step is that we have to identify what are the accounts involved. So in this case, the owner brought in motor vehicle. So we identified that vehicle is the assets involved here. Okay, and assets, when we brought in the motor vehicle, the assets increase, motor vehicle increase. So we just record 25,000 ringgit. Okay, and capital at the same time also increases. Okay, next transaction, 7 December. Purchase computer equipment from Chile IT Enterprise, 4,000 ringgit on account. Okay, for 7 December. Okay, what do we purchase here? We purchase computer equipment. Okay, as you can see here, we have the header, computer equipment. So when we purchase computer equipment, what happened to our computer? Increases, right? Okay, so we're going to record that. Okay, January 7, go to computer equipment, increases by 7,000? Sorry, 4,000 ringgit. Okay, 4,000 ringgit. Now, um, note that we purchase on account. What does it mean on account? On account means it is on credit. It means that we haven't made payment for it yet. So if we haven't made the payment yet, okay, so there is no impact on our cash because we do not use cash for this transaction. Instead, we owe money to Chilik IT Enterprise. And when we owe money to another business, okay, in accounting, they are called trade payable. Okay, so before this, we have zero in our trade payable. Now we owe money to another business, which is Chile IT Enterprise. Trade payable increases. Okay, so let's record under trade payable 4,000 ringgit. Okay, as you can see, okay, the balance we always have to make sure the debits always equal to credit. Okay, next, 13 December. Issued invoice to Menang Corporation 5,000 ringgit for the legal services provided. Okay, what is invoice? Invoice is basically a source document to represent credit transaction. What does it mean? It means that it is a document that we issue or we receive if the transaction does not involve cash payment or check issuance. Okay, there is no cash implication, there is no bank implication. Okay, meaning to say is either we owe money to another business or another business owe money to us. Okay, so that is invoice. Now, look at the term issued. Okay, issued here referring to the party that makes the sale. Okay, imagine this example. Okay, you go to any supermarket, you purchase any product, you make the payment. Okay, when you make the cash payment, the cashier will receive your cash and the cashier in return will give you a receipt. Okay, so basically, the cashier give you a receipt. Whoever that give the document, they are basically the seller. They are the one that initiate the transaction. Okay, they are the seller. Okay, so in this case, if we issued invoice, it means that we are the one who's providing the service. Okay, so in this case, we issued invoice to Menang Corporation, meaning to say we provide service to Menang Corporation and they haven't paid for it yet. Okay, if for example they have paid for it, the question would be issued receipt. Okay, because they make the payment, we give them receipt. But here in this case, they haven't made the payment yet, so we give them invoice. Okay, so let's record this appropriately. Include invoice. So this is service revenue. Okay, and you might note that we don't have headers for service revenue, also all the expenses. Why? Because this question is designed to teach you to record the owner's equity elements, okay, or accounts under one section. Okay, we can test you on this. Okay, so you have to know. So basically, how to record this? Basically, whatever that increases owner's equity will be recorded as plus. Whatever that decreases owner's equity, decreases owner's equity, not decreases the accounts. For example, expenses. When we make payment for expenses, expenses is increased, but at the same time, it reduces owner's equity. Okay, so there is a big difference there, very important difference. Okay, so in this case, we perform our service. So that is service revenue. Service revenue increases owner's equity. Okay, so it will increase the capital column. Okay, so in this case, okay, let's record it properly. This is, oh, sorry, it was December. Okay, let me change this. Um, December 1st. December. I think I confused this with another question. Okay, December 13. Sorry, 13 was it? December 13. Okay. Now, um, okay, as we said earlier, okay, this goes into honest equity. Okay, 5,000 ringgit for the service revenue. And since we haven't received the payment yet, this will also goes into trade receivables for the debit. Okay. If we have received the payment, it will go into cash account. Okay, next, 25th December, paid the following expenses for the month. Okay, wages and salary, 12,500 ringgit. Notice the question, okay? Please note the question here. We use the term paid. Okay, paid means it involves cash. Okay, so when we paid using cash, okay, what happens to our cash? Our cash decreases, right? Okay, so in this case, 25th December 25th, okay, our cash decreases by 12,500 ringgit, and this is for wages and salary. Okay, so minus owner's equity, 12,500 ringgit. Again, Okay. For owner's equity, we look at the impact on owner's equity, not individual accounts. For individual accounts, when we paid for wages and salary, the wages and salary will increase. But in this case, we put it in bracket because wages and salaries is an expenses, and expenses reduces owner's equity. We look at the impact on the owner's equity. In case you can't process this information yet, okay, at this point you cannot understand this yet. Okay, just do a quick shortcut. Just make sure total assets, the total debits equal to the total credits, total liabilities and equities. So if our assets is uh, in bracket decrease, okay, you just have to make sure the same thing happens to our total credit side. Okay, and the next transaction also on the same date we pay utility bills 800 ringgit. Okay, so here we have to minus 800 ringgit more. Okay. And this one as well, minus 800 ringgit. In case you're wondering, sir, can I put this separately, record this separately? Yes, you can. Okay. In fact, that would be a lot safer. Okay. So if we are going to put this separately, it will look like this. Minus 800 ringgit and then minus 800 ringgit like that. Okay. Okay. Next transaction, 28th December. Kasim withdrew cash, 5,000 ringgit for personal use. Okay, so what happened to our cash? Our cash will decrease, right? And at the same time, this is a withdrawals by Kasim, the owner of the business, for personal use. If the withdrawal is for personal use, we will record it as drawings. Okay, and since we do not have headers for drawings, we will record it under its parents classification, which is owner's equity. Drawings reduces owner's equity. Okay, so on 28th December, okay, December 28th, okay, minus 5,000 ringgit cash, okay, minus 5,000 ringgit cash, and then the drawings will reduce owner's equity by the same amount, 5,000 ringgit. Okay, next, 31st December, purchase furniture from Westcott on credit. Okay, so here we are purchasing a furniture. What happened to our furniture? Furniture will increase, right? Okay, so 31st December, furniture increased by 750. Oh, sorry, this is cash. Furniture increased by 750. And then from Westcott on credit. Okay, on credit, meaning to say we haven't paid to Westcott yet. Okay, so in this case, Westcott is our trade payable. Trade payable increased by the same amount. Okay, 750 ringgit. Okay, so that's it for this question. Next, we have to total up all columns. So total amounts, okay, to total everything. Okay, so and just apply the formula, right? Next, after that, we have to total the total assets, total assets. Okay, in other words, debit. Okay. Next is the total owner's equity and liabilities. In other words, credit. Okay. And the amount for assets would be, you have to do this, especially in your quiz, okay, because sometimes we allocate marks for this, okay? All right, so that's it for question number one. Sorry, number four, okay? Number four, okay? So this is it. If you have any question, please ask. All right. Okay, next, let's move on to question number two for today, okay, which is question number five from our textbook. Okay. I know the instruction is for us to record each transaction by increasing or decreasing the amount of each item affected. Okay, but for the purpose of this recording, okay, we are going to record this question into the accounting equation worksheet. All right. Okay, so let's create a new sheet. Um, I'm not sure how many columns do we need. Okay, but let's just create them. Mm, okay, create some more. Okay, and let's set this as our total column. Sorry, total row. Okay, and this is as our title. Okay, so firstly we have our assets here, and then we have our liabilities. Yeah, we don't need that many columns for liabilities. And then wait, let me do this first. And then we have our owner's equity section. I think for this question we will need um few columns. Okay, so let's add more. All right, and this will be our date. Okay, this will be our date. Okay, so let's format this first. Okay, okay. So I think we're ready. All right. Okay, now let's look at the question. Johari decides to open a cleaning and laundry service that will operate as a sole proprietorship near the local college campus. So this is a new business, okay? Decides to open a new business, okay? So let's look at the first transaction. A, Johari invested, yeah, okay, we have this, okay? Okay, let's record, um, let's follow the instruction in the module, okay? This would be capital, okay? This would be capital. Yeah, I thought there is no header. Okay, so let's put the header first. Cash, trade receivable. Next we have laundry equipment. Next we have trade payable, and lastly Johari's capital. Yeah, we don't need that many for this question. That I think is for the other question. Okay, so we can delete this. Delete. So this one as well. Delete. Okay. All right. Okay, now let's look at the first transaction. Johari invested 20,000 ringgit in cash to start a cleaning and laundry business on June 1st. Okay, so June 1st, okay, we've got increase in cash 20,000 ringgit. And at the same time, as mentioned earlier, okay, whenever the owner of the business bring in assets into the business, it will be considered as capital. Okay, so capital 20,000 ringgit. Okay, next, purchase laundry equipment for 11,000 ringgit. Okay, firstly, look at this question. The value of laundry equipment is 11,000 ringgit. So we only have the letter here. Okay, so let's record the letter instead. B. Okay, for B, laundry equipment. Go to laundry equipment and record the whole amount. Okay, the value of laundry equipment is 11,000. Record 11,000. You don't record anything else in laundry equipment. Okay, next, paying 7,000 ringgit in cash. Okay, do this step by step, one by one. Okay, 7,000 ringgit in cash. So go to cash. When we pay 7,000 ringgit in cash, what happens to our cash? Increase or decrease? Decrease, right? Okay, so minus 7,000 ringgit. Okay, and the remainder due in 30 days, meaning to say the balance. Okay, the balance we owe the seller. That seller would be the trade payable. Okay, so trade payable, the amount of money that we owe them is 4,000 ringgit. Okay, again, just make sure total debits is equal to total credits. Okay. Okay, see, zero, all right? Okay, let's apply this formula to all. Okay, next. Paid 1,200 ringgit cash. Okay, we make cash payment. So what happened to our cash? Decrease, right? Okay, so C minus 1,200 ringgit. Okay, next. For laundry supplies expenses. Okay, pay attention to this. It is an expenses. So expenses goes into owner's equity. Okay, so under Johari's capital minus 1,200 ringgit. Okay, why? Because again, expenses reduces owner's equity. We are looking at the impact on owner's equity. Okay, not expenses account. Okay, but owner's equity account. Okay, next D. Receive a bill from Campus News, 200 ringgit. When we receive a bill, it means that we use their service and we haven't paid for it yet. Okay, so in this case, when we use their service, what for? For advertising. Advertising is a type of expenses. Okay, so it goes under owner's equity. And since we haven't paid for it yet, they are our trade payable, campus news. Okay, they are our trade payable. So we are going to record it under trade payable as well. Okay, so since we haven't paid for it, sorry, since we haven't paid for it yet, okay, the amount is 200 ringgit. Trade payable increase, okay, by 200 ringgit. And at the same time, because this is an expenses, okay, advertising expenses reduces owner's equity. So we put it in bracket. Okay, in case you're wondering, sir, why we have to put it in bracket? Because simply the reason, okay, there is only one reason. Okay, expenses reduce owner's equity. We are recording based on the impact on owner's equity. Okay, revenue increases owner's equity, so we are going to put the amount in positive form. Okay, capital increases owner's equity. That's why today's 20,000 ringgit is positive form. Okay, expenses reduces owner's equity. That's why they are in negative format. Okay, and drawings as well reduces owner's equity. Okay, so you have to know this is the rules. Okay, so that's all the reason to it. Okay, next. Cash receipts from customers for cleaning and laundry service amounting to 1,500 ringgit. What does it mean? It means that we perform the service, cleaning and laundry, and the customer pay us immediately by cash. Okay, we receive cash from customers. Okay, so in this case, we are going to record in our cash column, okay, increase, and in the owner's equity, because this is service revenue, increase as well. Okay, so E cash minus 1,500 ringgit and owner's equity, okay, through sales revenue or service revenue increased by 1,500 ringgit. Sorry, this one should be positive. Okay. Okay. Next, F. What's F? Paid salaries. Okay, we paid. Okay, so in this case, cash will decrease 400 ringgit. And because salaries is an expenses, owner's equity will decrease by 400 ringgit. Okay, so minus 400 ringgit cash, because we make the payment, okay, cash goes out. Cash decreases. Okay, so we have to reduce the cash, minus the cash here. And because we are paying expenses, expenses reduces owner's equity. Okay, so we are going to minus 400 from the owner's equity. Okay, next, G, build the Tiger football team, 100 ringgit for cleaning and laundry services. We have performed the service, but we haven't received the payment yet. Okay, so since we have performed the service, this goes into owner's equity as service revenue. Okay, and because we haven't received the payment yet, this means Tiger football team owe us money. And since they owe us money, they are our trade receivable. Okay, so in this case, trade receivable will increase by 100 ringgit. Okay, so let's record this. Accordingly, Okay, G, okay, trade receivable 100 ringgit increase, and then owner's equity, because it is a service revenue, okay, increase 100 ringgit. Next, H, paid 200 ringgit to Campus News for advertising that was previously billed in transaction D. Okay, let's look at transaction D. So transaction D, we receive a bill, but we haven't paid for it yet. Now, we are making the payment. Okay, paid 200 ringgit. So this will affect our cash. Okay, our cash will decrease by 200 ringgit. So H minus our cash 200 ringgit, and then okay, because we are paying to campus news is our trade receivable. Okay, so go to trade receivable, and because we have paid for it, we sorry, trade payable. Okay, we owe money. Okay, we owe money to campus news. Okay, they are our trade payable. Sorry for the confusion. Okay, so we minus this amount, this exact amount, 200 ringgit. Okay, next, J, Johari withdrew 900 ringgit from the business for living expenses. Living expenses is a personal expenses. So this is a drawing. Okay, withdrew 900 ringgit cash minus cash. Okay, so I minus 900 ringgit from cash. Sorry, minus 100 ringgit from cash. And then, because it is a drawing reduces owner's equity. Under owner's equity section, we will minus 900 ringgit. Okay? Next, J, incurred utility expenses for the month on account. What does it mean on account? On account means we haven't made the payment yet. Okay, so in this case, it will go under trade payable, and also because it is expenses, it will go under owner's equity. Okay, so J, okay, trade payable increases because we haven't paid for it yet. Before this, there is no, this amount, this 400 ringgit is not in our account. So now we have to record it. We have to add to our trade payable. And because this is a payment of expenses, okay, expenses reduces owner's equity. So it should be in minus. Okay, so minus 400 ringgit. Okay, so that's it for this question. Okay, next again, we need to total up everything. Okay. All right. So the next is, this would be our mm, total assets, otherwise also called as debit. And then we have our total owners equity and liabilities, otherwise also called as credit. Okay, let me get this first. Okay, this one. All right. And the amount for total assets would be 22,900 ringgit, whereas the amount for credit sides, equities, and liabilities would be the same 22,900 ringgit. Okay, so this is question number 5, I think. Yep, number 5 in our textbook. Okay, now let's move on to question number 6. Okay, before we begin, let me set up the worksheet. Okay, so let me label this as well. Question 4. This is question 5. Next would be question number 6. Okay. Okay. So firstly, I I think this could be enough. This could be enough. Okay. Don't worry. If we need more, we'll add later. Okay. So let's create the headers first. Oh, the headers is not in this question is not provided. Okay. But let's format this first. Okay. Let's format this nicely. So we have our assets. I don't think we need that many for our assets. And then we have our liability. And then we also have our owner's equity. Let's stand by for many types of expenses. Owner's equity. Okay. Um, Before that, let's do a quick formatting to make sure this looks nice, right? And then, okay. Oh, before that, let's freeze the pins, okay? So that, yeah, we can see the date and the title. Okay. Uh, all right. I think we need to make this bigger, right? Okay, yeah, it looks better. Okay, so for the question, Juara Computer Services undertook the following transactions during January 2000X1. Okay, so on the 1st January, started business with 60,000 ringgit in the bank and 15,000 ringgit cash. Okay, so the first step is that we have to identify the accounts involved. So in this case, we have bank and cash, and also because these assets are brought into the business, this is considered as capital. Okay, so let's record this first. Firstly, we have bank account. Okay, secondly, we have cash. And under owner's equity, we have capital. Okay, so first, was it 1st January? Yeah, 1st January. Okay, bank 60,000 ringgit, cash 15,000 ringgit, and the total of this would be the capital. Okay, so let's take our bank plus our cash. All right, 75,000 ringgit. Okay, next. Also, on the same date, Juara paid current month's office rent for office space by check, 1,500 ringgit by check. Okay, so check will affect our bank's account. When we make the check payment, it will reduce our bank balances. Okay, so 1st January, the bank balances will be reduced by 1,500 ringgit. And this is for the payment of office rent. Okay, so for this one, let's create a header for it. Okay, office rent, 1,500 ringgit in bracket, because rent is an expenses reduces owner's equity. Okay, so this is minus 1,500 ringgit. Okay, next, purchase on credit, computers. Okay, so we purchase computers from Doll Computers. Okay, so we purchase computers. Let's open computers account. Okay, computer. Okay, and the date is 2nd January. Okay, January 2nd. And the amount is 20,000 ringgit. Have we paid for it yet? Oh, no, we haven't paid for it yet because it says purchase on credit. Okay, so we have Doll Computers. Because we owe money to Doll Computers, this becomes our trade payable. Okay, so let's open trade payable account here. Okay, 20,000 ringgit increase in our trade payable. Okay, next. Also on the same day, bought office fixtures 600 ringgit for cash. Okay, so we bought office fixtures. So open office fixtures account, and it's for 600 ringgit. Okay, and it is for cash, a payment by cash. So our cash decreases. Okay, so minus our cash, minus 600 ringgit. Okay, in case you're wondering, why do I separate the the January 1st transaction, is because it affect the same account. So I want to show you the effects separately. Okay, but since this transaction, it doesn't affect the same account, I can just record it in the same row. Okay, but it's up to your preference. If you want to combine these two, you can as well. Okay, but make sure your calculation is correct. Okay, next. January 4th, invoice Ahmad Enterprise for computer services provided. So we perform service and Ahmad Enterprise haven't paid for it yet. So Ahmad Enterprise becomes our trade receivable. Okay, so trade receivable increase, revenue increase. So let's open trade receivable account. Trade receivable increase by how much? 2,500 ringgit. Okay, January 4th, 2,500 ringgit. And because this is a service revenue, okay, we perform service here. So open service revenue account, okay, and the amount is the same, 2,500 ringgit. Okay, next. Receive 5,000 ringgit check. Okay, so when we receive 5,000 ringgit check, the money goes into our bank. So what happened to our bank's account? Increases, right? Okay, so receive 5,000 ringgit check. Let's add the amount 5,000 ringgit into our bank account. And what is the source of this 5,000 ringgit? From client for computer services provided. Okay, so this is service revenue. Okay, so service revenue, let's go to service revenue at 5,000 ringgit. All right, okay, next. 10 January, a check was received for a loan of 50,000 ringgit from CIMB. Okay, so we receive a check. What happens to our bank's account? Okay, check goes into our bank's account, right? Okay, so our bank's account increases. Okay, so January 10, our bank account increases by, was it 50,000? Yep, 50,000 ringgit. And it is for a loan. So open a bank loans account. Okay, for bank loan, it is a liability. Okay, and it is 50,000 ringgit. Okay, next. January 12th, paid doll computers for computers purchased on 2nd January by check. Okay, look at this transaction. Okay, we purchased computers on credit by 20,000. Now, we issued check for a full settlement. We paid in full. Okay, so in this case, because we issued check, okay, paid doll computers by check. Okay, you see here by check. Okay, so it goes into our banks column. Okay, and because we are making a payment, so the money in our banks will decrease. So the amount, what's the date, by the way? Okay, January 12th, the amount will decrease by 20,000 ringgit. Okay, we are paying for this. Okay, this amount. Okay, we are paying for this amount. So we paid 20,000 ringgit. Okay, the money goes out from our business. And at the same time, because this is our trade payable, we now paid for our trade payable. Our trade payable will decrease by 20,000 ringgit. Okay, basically we paid everything. Okay. Next, on the same date, we also bought a van. Juara Computer Services bought a van, 20,000 ringgit on credit. Okay, so open motor vehicle account. In case you're wondering, sir, can I open van's account? Yes, you can open van account as well. Okay, it's just the same thing for this question. Okay, but of course, the motor vehicle is a more generic title. Okay, so 12th January, the same date, yeah. Okay, we bought a van on credit. So van increased by 20,000 ringgit, motor vehicle increased by 20,000 ringgit, and it is on credit. Okay, so because it is on credit, I wish to show this effect separately. Okay, so add another 20,000 ringgit. Was it 20,000 ringgit? Are we sure? I see. We paid 5,000 ringgit cash for the deposit. So what happened to our cash? Our cash decreases by 5,000 ringgit. So the price of the motor vehicle, the van, is 20,000 and we paid 5,000. So how much is the balance? The balance is 15,000. And this 15,000, have we paid for it yet? Not yet, right? Okay. So this becomes our trade payable. So in trade payable account, record 15,000 ringgit. Okay, just like this. Okay, next. 15 January, completed a job. Okay, completed a job means we perform service. Okay, completed a job and invoice Ahmeng at Co for 14,500 ringgit. When we say invoice, it means that we haven't made the payment yet. Okay, so completed a job. This is service revenue. 15 January, go to our service revenue, 14,500 ringgit. Service revenue increase. Okay. Next, because we haven't received the payment. Invoice Ahmeng at Co. Okay. It is a credit transaction. Ahmeng owe money to us. So Ahmeng at Co becomes our trade receivable. Okay. So record in the trade receivable column, 14,500 ringgit. Okay, next, January 18, receive a 2,500 ringgit check. So this goes into which account? Bank's account, right? Okay, so 18 January, under bank's account, 2,500 ringgit increases because we receive the check. Money goes into our business. Okay. From Ahmad Enterprise for services provided on 4th January. Okay, this one. Okay, we have provided the service actually. And because Ahmad did not pay it, so Ahmad was our trade receivable. Okay, now we receive the payment from Ahmad. So in this case, we have to deduct, okay, this amount. Okay, we receive this amount. So we have to deduct from our trade receivable 2,500 ringgit. Okay, next. Purchase more office fixtures paying by cash, 2,000 ringgit. So what happens to our office fixtures? Increases, right? Because we purchase. So now we have more office fixtures. So we have to add office fixtures. And at the same time, we paid by cash. What happened to our cash? Decreases. Okay. So 20th January. Okay, our cash decreases by 2,000 ringgit. And at the same time, office fixtures increase by 2,000 ringgit. Okay. Next, do we have more column here? We have more column here. Sorry, more rows. Okay, next. Juara invested a further 40,000 ringgit check as additional capital in the business. Okay, Juara invested a further 40,000 ringgit check. So in this case, the check goes into our bank's account. Okay, so January 25th into our bank account, 40,000 ringgit. And this is for additional capital. Okay, so go to capitals column. Okay, record 40,000 ringgit. Okay, exactly the same amount. Okay, see here, exactly the same amount. Okay, next, 30th January, paid wages expense 5,000 ringgit cash. Okay, so 30th January, January 30th, cash decreased by 5,000 ringgit. And because we are paying for expenses, so create, was it salary or wages? Wages, okay, wages expenses, 30th January, 5,000 ringgit. Okay, because this is an expenses. Expenses reduces owner's equity. So it must be in bracket. Okay, minus 5,000 ringgit. And also, we paid January utility bills, 900 ringgit cash. Okay, so create another column, utility. Okay, and the amount is 900 ringgit. Okay, and for cash, the amount is 900 ringgit minus, okay, because we paid using cash. Our cash decreases. And lastly, Juara withdrew 2,000 ringgit from the business bank account for personal use. Okay, withdrew from business bank. Okay, so in this case, our banks decreases, and this is for personal use. So this is drawings. Okay, so January 31st, our banks decreases by 2,000 ringgit. And then because it is a drawings, oh, we got just enough rows and column. Drawings minus 2,000 ringgit. Okay, drawings reduces owner's equity. Okay, so it must be deducted from our owner's equity. Okay, so that's it for the question. Next step is to total everything. So make sure you total up everything. Okay, so that is the total for bank, and make sure you calculate everything. Okay, next. Okay. So the total assets is, and also we have our total owner's equity and liability. Okay, for the total assets, we're going to summarize total from motor bank to motor vehicle. Okay, and the amount is 100. Okay, somehow is not was not displayed. Okay, and then um, the total liability and owner's equity. Okay, so this is the total amount. All right. Mm, where is it? Okay, this one. Okay. By the way, these are the the answers. Okay, I will share the workbook with you later in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Or I will upload it on iTalim. Okay, I think that's better. Um, but before we end, okay, let me verify something first. Okay, by the way, if you have any question, please ask in in the WhatsApp group, or you can PM me. Okay, I would address your questions accordingly. Yeah. Oh, oh, this one. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I was checking something. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay. Yeah. Later I will share with you these answers. Okay, so that's it for this chapter. Later I will also make a recording on exercises from chapter. This is chapter 3. Okay, so chapter 4 and chapter 5 as well. Okay, so that's all. Hopefully this can be helpful for you to do your self study to prepare for you for the quiz. Okay, so that's it. See you in our next recording.